baby, oh baby, where you been all my life?
One of the most memorable things about a movie is the songs from the soundtrack and the film score. Movies like Austin Powers, The Titanic, and Space Jam all had soundtracks that stuck out. One of the most beloved things about 17 Again is the music. Movie soundtracks were big business around this time. Soundtracks were selling in the millions and generated a lot of revenue for record companies. Unfortunately, the 17 Again soundtrack was never officially released. However, some songs can be found here on YouTube. 17 Again was a modern film when it was released in 2000. The music in the film drew inspiration from contemporary R&B and hip-hop and 1940s swing and jazz music. It seems the music selection was chosen to show the juxtaposition between being a teenager in the 1940s and being a teen at the turn of the millennium. In the late 90s and early 2000s, there was a transition from one era of music to the next era. As a result, there were many different generations of artists and styles of music that were popular at the same time. The merging of genres increased the number of subgenres. Techno pop, R&B, teen pop, contemporary gospel, hip-hop, rock, Latin pop, and country simultaneously ruled the Billboard charts. It was an era of slow love ballads and up-tempo dance tracks. Throughout the 1990s decade, the best-selling music genres were country and R&B. Towards the end of the decade, hip-hop became more mainstream and was fused with other music genres such as R&B, teen pop, and rock music. 17 Again captured some of these elements in the plot through the film score, soundtrack, and dialogue. The music was coordinated by Susan Pilcher and produced by Edgar Rothermich. The soundtrack included 4 original songs by Boyz II Men singer-songwriter Sean Stockman and others by Joel Evans, Gordon Brisker, DJ Logistick, George Romanis, and David Trues. The film's opening credits contain a 1940s jazz-inspired track with hip-hop added elements. This jazz instrumental shows the contrast between two generations. The grandparents were teens in the 40s, while Willie and Sydney were teenagers currently. The film bounces back and forth between old and new school styles to show their respective taste in music. In the opening sequence, the film shows different styles of music to show each character's personality and actions. Each character is in a different setting. Grandma and Monique are in the beauty salon. The audience can slightly hear an easy listening track playing. The music acts as an ambiance in the environment. When Willie is doing his lab experiment and things take a wrong turn, the music shows the intensity of the scene.
Willie, whatever you do, don't use water!
Grandpa Gene and Dad are listening to jazz while driving to the house, while Sydney is getting ready for work to an R&B and hip-hop track.
There was once a place and time when I thought you cared for me.
This opening sequence shows the calmness of the other characters' moods while there's chaos with Willie. The background music in Sydney's scene was a blend of R&B and hip-hop music. These two genres would often merge throughout the 1990s because of the invention of the New Jack Swing music style. New Jack Swing incorporates dance pop and hip-hop. It combines elements of jazz, funk, rap, and rhythm and blues. This style was in part created and popularized by Teddy Riley. According to Teddy Riley, the basic form of New Jack Swing is singing and rapping on the same record. As the genre evolved, it became less swing influenced. By 2000, it was common to see these two styles mixed together. Genre blending is also best exemplified when Grandma Cat becomes 17 again. The song Hot Thing, composed by Sean Stockman, is used and incorporates pop, electronica, hip-hop, and R&B with computer-enhanced vocals.
Hot thing, can I see you?
Film scores are perfectly carved out to help with the timing of films, which can contribute to the comedic moments, dramatic moments, and essentially keep the audience engaged. Without music, films would be boring. Music also can be used to help the story by setting the mood and manipulating the viewer's emotions. Sound creates expectation. The mysterious, creepy music when Willie is cleaning up implies that the soap will have some importance to the film. When Sydney and Todd spot each other at the store, the romantic music indicates an attraction between the two characters.
Oh, what? Oh, do you recognize him from computer class?
Here are some more examples from the film where the composers use music to keep the film interesting. When Grandpa becomes 17 again, he has to run from the police. This song not only keeps the scene interesting, but shows how youthful Grandpa has become again. He can run fast and hop gates. The music can also help the film's transition from one scene to the next. Imagine these scenes without any music. It will feel weird to experience movies in silence unless there's an artistic decision to do so. While Grandma is listening to jazz, she notices the sadness in her life reflected in the photo of Sid. She sees a younger version of herself in Sydney. Simultaneously, she reminisces about her failed marriage. She can't even look at the old photo of her and Grandpa Gene. The music aids in conveying this emotion. The background track is titled Vanishing Romance. The lyrics fit perfectly for the scene. Upbeat music plays while the grandparents are arguing, and it shows it's lighthearted to the other characters. The audience shouldn't be alarmed about any true harm or abuse.
Talk to the hand.
Oh!
The film does a good job of using music to show personality traits of the different characters. When Julia is on the phone with Sydney, an Eastern religion-inspired track is playing in the background because that's what she's into. Earlier, I mentioned the juxtaposition between the two generations reflected in the music. Most of the high school scenes use hip-hop tracks, while most of the grandparent scenes use jazz or even house music tracks. Willie even makes a reference to Will Smith, while Grandma Cat references Nat King Cole. Grandpa even tries to get involved with the younger generation by freestyle rapping in the auditorium. One of the most notorious scenes in the film was the swing music dance scene. Although swing music is used, it is modernized to keep it palatable for a new generation of listeners. The scene also features members of Boyz II Men. In the final scene during the school dance, when the grandparents get back together, a slow love ballad plays in the background. The song is titled Let It Go and is one of the songs penned by Sean Stockman. The lyrics were perfectly carved out to describe the grandparents' relationship dynamic. I can't think too much about tomorrow. The past is done and gone away. But there is one thing I'm certain of. I want to start my life with you again today. The grandparents can't think about the past if they want to move forward. The last line speaks to Grandpa Gene's desire to start afresh with Grandma Cat. So what do you say we fall in love again? Just like it was when we first met. So what do you say we try our love again? Because you know we belong together. And I know this time it's going to last forever. The grandparents broke up, but intend not to give up on their marriage the second time around. Things were good at the beginning, but took a sour turn. They desire to get back to the initial state of their relationship. This song also plays minutes later at the closing of the film when the grandparents are 67 again. It's a perfect song to end the film. This concludes this part of the 17 Again retrospective. I hope you all enjoyed. None of this would have been made possible without the sources listed on the screen. I'm Anthony Morton. Thank you all for watching and make sure to stay tuned for more content.